I actually think we're live now.
We are live.
Well, there we go. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Normally we're on the background screen, but we're straight in. What are the numbers? They're coming in thick and fast, and I'm actually still pouring my drams. So
Somebody was late tonight. I wonder who it was.
Huh?
Someone was late. I wonder who it was.
You were in the pub watching the rugby.
I've been at home watching the rugby. I think you found.
Right. So, welcome everyone to Whisky and Doughnuts. This is I mean, we're normally tight for time, but this is a new record where I'm still pouring my drams.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, for those who know us, we normally like to do this together in the Malt Room, and we have interaction. But last time we did it, unfortunately, over Christmas time, I had COVID, so we decided to do it from a safe distance. And unfortunately, this time
it was on me. I'd contracted COVID this time, so yes, we are once again split. But hopefully, for the next one, we'll actually manage to get through it and get one
in one go.
In one go, yeah.
So there is a few new people who have come to this for the first time, and you're probably thinking, what the hell is going on right now? So Whisky and Doughnuts, myself and Nicole started this maybe must be about 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Friends of ours, Johnny and Erica, had this lovely Instagram page called Whisky and Doughnuts, and this concept of pairing whiskey and donuts was something completely new to us. But they came over to Speyside, the Spirit of Speyside Festival, one year, and they contacted Nicole and said, look, we're looking for a local donut supplier. Nicole showed me the email, and I was like, right, we're in.
Can I be back on this trip? I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm coming. And we built up a great friendship from there. And obviously the last 2.5 years, these sort of festivals haven't happened. But we love the idea, and Johnny and Erica love the idea as well. And as far as we're concerned, we're a team, and the more people who can enjoy whiskey and donuts together, the better. It's all about having fun. This is super lighthearted, as you can probably tell. It's not too serious, but as long as we have a nice night, try some nice drams, try some nice donuts. That's what it's all about. So welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back to the kind of faithful subscribers of Whisky and Doughnuts.
Yeah, what I like about Whisky Doughnuts as well, it's not the typical pairing, is it? You always have like chocolates and cheese and things, and donuts just a kind of out of the box way to bring out different flavors in the whiskeys. That's always a bit of fun. Plus, we get to try loads of new stuff that I've not tried before, which is great.
Absolutely, and I'm, I say, normally prepared, but as you can tell, I was in the pub watching the rugby. I'm a big rugby fan, and I was down at the Scotland-England game last weekend. It was fantastic. I had high hopes today, and unfortunately, we didn't do it today. We didn't do it, but
no, nightmare.
I know. Onwards and upwards.
As well, about the comments on the side. So you guys can comment throughout any point in the tasting, and let us know your favorite whiskies. Let us know your favorite donuts, your favorite pairings, anything that you felt worked the best or worked the worst, or if you've got any questions for Matt or I during the tasting, feel free to jump on and give us a wee shout. We can
Mark saying, see, Matt's on normal sized drams tonight. I think he's insinuating that we maybe pour slightly bigger drams for ourselves, but after my afternoon, I may have had a couple of pints.
Oh, God.
I'm on the sensible sized drams today.
Uh-huh. So that'll be falling off your seat this time.
No. I am. This is a professional outing. This is for the next hour. Do you know what is?
Sorry.
Go on. I was going to say one thing we should actually probably think about is the starting lineup.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So whiskey wise, obviously you've got them all numbered 1 to 5. So pour them out 1 to 5 in front of you on your sheets. And then donut wise, we have the first one that you should have would be the white icing with the love hearts. The second has a white icing with a little lemon twist. The third is got sugar on the outside with a wee raspberry on the top. Then the fourth and the fifth might be a bit confusing, but the fourth one has a dark cookie, sort of dark chocolate crumble. And then the fifth one is a slightly lighter crumble. So they should see a little bit of a difference between the two there. Matt, where have you run off to? Oh, who knows? Oh, he's clattering about with a glass of water or something.
I forgot the bottles.
Oh man.
I have the bottles. I was just thinking about the first dram, and I was like, I have my dram, but I don't have the bottle.
Matt, just to let you know, the comments aren't coming up on my side, so maybe it's just yourself that can see the comments.
Yeah, I can see them. So we've got a couple of mark already. So any Facebook comments, we will see them down the sort of right-hand side. So I think everyone's set and ready to go. Should we start? So I think what we normally do is we normally talk a little bit about the whiskey, a little bit about the donut, and then we kind of chop and change and try them together. What we would say is that don't rush these. Leave a little bit of whiskey. We've made these pairings together, but what we often find in whiskey and donuts is actually leave a little bit of the donut, leave a little bit of the whiskey, and actually make up your own pairings as well. And if something works, please tell us. Please put in the comment that donut 2 works with donut like dram 4, and it's totally interactive. It's totally free. So let's have some fun with it. So should we start with dram number 1?
Yeah, let us know. I'm actually quite intrigued about these drams. So
So the lineup, we've done quite a few of these now. So this I don't know how many whiskey and donuts have we done.
I'd say this is probably like we read about 15. Maybe?
Yeah. So so like originally, like it was really easy for us to choose whiskey, choose donuts at the pairings, but I think like it's getting harder and harder to like try and find some pairings, but the themes often help. So we did one at Christmas and Valentine's Day. We've got a real treat actually here tonight. I don't actually think there's a few secrets actually in these lines that most people don't know about. So anyway, dram number 1. This is Cragganmore.
Here we go.
So Cragganmore is a distillery that most people probably don't really know anything about. Let's see if I can get a bit closer. So owned by Diageo, started in 1869, based in Ballinadalach. There's a lot of chat that it was started by the son of the man who started Glenlivet, George Smith, but he's not the official son, so there's a bit of hoo-ha about did he actually start the distillery. But, in terms of what he's done, you would think he has. So he started it right beside the River Spey. Makes sense for the cooling water. It was right on the train line. And it's a really interesting distillery. Currently owned by Diageo. One of the most important things about it is that it's they use worm tubs. So their spirit is quite heavy. And their line arm kind of goes down the way. So like for a normal expression to do that, it's very random. They wouldn't normally do that, but heavy spirit. And I'm just rambling now about whiskey.
Go ahead. There's Spraff for the whiskey geeks, and then there's Spraff.
I know. Anyway, long story short, 12-year-old whiskey, ex-bourbon casks, heavy spirit, and the spirit is classed as A1 for blenders. So like most of this stuff goes into blends. However, they do a 12-year-old and a distiller's edition. So Glenfiddich, for example, do like a 12, 15, 18, 21, 25. These guys do a 12 distillers. Everything else goes blended. It's classed as A1, class spirit. So yeah, it's a classic Speyside style. But please tell us about the donut.
Yeah, so I've gone with a vanilla custard. So vanilla is one of those kind of classic flavors in whiskey generally, just from like the oak that you get from the barrels and stuff. So we thought we'd go with just a classic vanilla custard on the inside with a little bit of vanilla icing, and obviously just in theme with this tastings Valentine's theme. We've got some little chocolate hearts on there as well. So yeah, we should have some. This should be quite a nice, easy pairing to begin with tonight.
Slange. Feels weird not doing a wee chink, but
no, yeah, I will do myself.
Nice sound.
Here we go.
So I think Cragganmore is one of those ones that is in that like Speyside heart of like Balvenie, Mortlach, Glenfiddich, and it totally goes under the radar. Like, but as a dram, I think that is absolutely delicious. Like, I really, really like Cragganmore.
Yeah, there's a lot of mouthfeel in that for a 12-year-old whiskey,
Yeah, and one of the reasons for that is the worm tubs. So, sorry, I'm going to get a bit geeky here, but worm tubs are basically a way of condensing vapors into liquid. Diageo are the kind of king of worm tubs, really. So You can get shell and tube condensers, which basically condense the vapors off a still very, very quickly. Whereas worm tubs are basically big. Imagine a big jacuzzi that has like a copper pipe going round and round and round and round. And if you basically condense spirit that way, you keep a lot of the sulfur compounds. So it makes for like a more weighty spirit in terms of mouthfeel. So Cragganmore 12, I think, has a really big mouthfeel. I think it's a total gem. Seems the Mortlach. Mortlach is one of those ones that people are like, oh, it's got a beefy, weighty kind of note to it. That's like Cragganmore as well, but it doesn't get the kind of praise that Mortlachs do. But I think it's a great dram.
It's good, and what's even better is that this is confirming I still have my taste buds. So woohoo!
I was going to say, how is your taste?
Been fine so far. Yeah, I'm only really in like day 2 of this at the moment, so I'm still quite early in it. But yeah, that's another thing. I want to have a big thanks and a big nod to my lead baker who managed to pull it all out of the bag for us. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here with no donuts tonight. So yeah, we had friends and family and my amazing baker who is kind of stepped it up last night and worked until the very, very early hours this morning. So yeah, big thanks to her.
For sure. Yeah, I got a message from Nicole at 11:30. The story actually has more arms and legs than you're letting on to. So you got COVID. You had your Valentine's Day boxes for Perk.
Yeah.
We had whiskey and donuts. And then at 11:30 last night, you messaged me saying, there's a power cut. We have no power. So your partner in crime and head baker was there till 5 a.m. Making the donuts. So
but we got there and everything got fulfilled, and yeah, it's part of the joy of labor of love, as they say.
Oh, cheers on the donuts, they're great.
Thank you. So yeah, what do you think about the first pairing, Matt?
Delicious. Yeah, really nice. Like, for me, it's just 2 classic flavors that actually work really well. I think as we go through the tasting, there's more weird and wonderful stuff. But for me, like a vanilla donut and then just like a classic Speyside whiskey is actually kind of where whiskey and donuts kind of came from, why it works. It's just a really pleasant experience. Like, there's nothing overly complicated about it. But it works. It's a lovely donut. It's a lovely whiskey. It works. Yeah.
That's a really good whiskey, actually, for a 12-year-old Speyside. It's not normally my bag at all. I'm always stuck in that.
I'm the same. Yeah.
Really good. I really like that.
People say there's a slight smoky character to Cragganmore. I'm not sure if they peat the malt. And when I read that, I was like, I don't get smoke from it, but maybe that's because I'm used to really high peated stuff. But it'd be interesting to hear what you guys think. If you guys are picking up any smoke in it at all, let us know what you think about the pairing. Are you getting the vanilla? For me, it's vanilla and Speyside kind of works.
Yeah.
But let's see. Mark saying Dram 5 is normally the one to test your COVID. Yeah, very true. Yeah. Can you see the comments?
No, I just can now. I've just realised I've switched it over so I can see them now.
Great. Well, should we move on to? I'm going to keep some of that.
Yeah, me too. I'm literally going to come back to it for sure.
Okay, let's maybe go dram number 2. Yeah. So dram number 2 is a really
light in colour.
Really light in colour. And it's one of these drams that we've had in the bar for a wee while now, and I haven't actually managed to sample it. So this was the first time, and I just thought it was perfect for whiskey and donuts. So this is here. Very, very unusual. So this is an Old Particular bottling, which is by a company called Douglas Lang, who are an independent bottler. For those who don't know what independent bottler are, is they are a company that basically buy casks of certain distilleries or liquids, and then they keep them or bottle them straight away, and they produce the bottles. So this is actually a Ben Rinnes, 12-year-old Ben Rinnes.
Oh, lovely.
And this is like a new series that they released in 2021, which is a real soft spot for me. It's called Cheers to Better Days. So they released it just after the first lockdown, and they were like, cheers to better days. Here's some whiskey. Like, this is, hopefully we're out of this mess. So yeah, distilled in June 2009, bottled in 2021. at 48.4%, and it is like natural. Sorry, not natural strength. It's natural color and non-chill filtered. So.
I want to talk a little bit about colour actually, because it's quite an interesting, misconception always, and some people.
Yeah. Do you want to explain it? I think you can do it.
I don't know. Well, it is legal in whiskey to add colour. You can just stop me at any point that I'm getting this wrong.
No, this is good. I think you've got it.
So it is legal to add colouring to whiskey, and there's lots of distilleries out there who do it, because the conception is when you see a whiskey on a shelf and it's super dark in colour, people assume that it's really rich and it's going to have the most flavour and it's going to fill your mouth 10 times more than something as light as this. But obviously that's just not the case a lot of the time. To get, what's the word? If you're bottling 1,000 bottles and you want them all to look exactly the same, then they colour them in order to get that seamlessness. Yeah. Anything else?
No, perfect. You're right. So their argument is that colouring whiskey is for consistency. Mm-hmm. However, it's always darkening whiskey. Mm-hmm. So they add this caramel colouring called E150. So big culprits are about 70% of the whiskies you buy will have colouring added to them, unless it says natural colour on the natural colour on the bottle. Then if it doesn't say that, it's had colouring added to it. So big culprits, for example, Dalmore 12 is like super dark. It looks great. It tastes great. Super easy drinking, but it's not actually that colour from the casks. It's been colouring added. So as a consumer, we think that is a nicer product, and we're like, that looks great, as you said, but it's had colouring added, and it makes us think that something like this that looks really light and pale is young and shouldn't taste good. But actually, if you close your eyes and taste it, it's a really, really nice dram. So I'm a big fan of natural colour. My biggest issue with it, and the argument that distilleries say that it's all for consistency, I've never heard of a distillery trying to lighten a whiskey.
Yeah. To make it as light as each other. Yeah.
Oh shit, this has come out really, really, really dark. We need to make this lighter. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's always young whiskies that are darkened. I really disagree that Germany have a different policy on it. They're all about, honesty with ingredients. So if it has colouring added in Germany, it says we have E150 added. Whereas in this country, you don't need to say anything.
Yeah, you just leave it.
Just leave it. But companies and bottlers that don't add colouring are very keen to tell you that. So on the front of this bottle, it should say, let's have a look. Yep. So in the back here, it says, committed to bringing you the finest Scotch whiskies exactly as we believe the distillers intended, without colouring or chill filtration and at high alcoholic strength, ensuring the whiskey in your glass is as close to most come to experiencing that rarest of pleasures, savouring a dram straight from its cask in the hallowed surroundings of a distillery warehouse. So this is about as pure as it gets.
The whiskey then. Sorry, I interrupted.
Sorry, we got into that. No, that's good. Yeah, that's probably quite a good little information thing. So Ben Rinnes, Heart of Speyside, it really, really is in the heart. As a distillery, they've been quite interesting. So 3 years after opening, back in the 1800s, they had a flood. 50 years later, they had a fire. They used to triple distill. They've been quite an iconic distillery in terms of change. But in 2007, now owned by Diageo, they have got two washbacks and 4 spirit distills now. So they operate as a pretty standard distillery. Most of it, again, goes into blends, but a lot of independent bottlers are big fans of Ben Rinnes. And this is a 12-year-old Ben Rinnes, ex-bourbon cask. So light, really fruity, quite creamy. And tell us about the donut.
Yeah, this one I've done for really super simple lemon. So this, I wanted to do quite a zesty lemon. I always find, sometimes the citrus in a lemon can really pick out, like it kind of wakens up the taste buds a bit more as well. So I thought it'd be an interesting match. So this second pairing might not be everyone's favorite, but it definitely was something that we can, see how it balances each other out. If it balances each other out, it might just just aliven the senses enough to taste a little bit more. That was the idea behind this one. But yes, it's just a super fresh citrusy lemon glaze with no filling on the inside. And they're asking, what percent is this, Matt?
So this is, I think it's 48.4.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, it's light, it's fresh, but it's got a real mouthfeel to it. So feel free to add a little bit of water to it. But when we tried these together, we thought the lightness, the lemon, it's a fresh combination. Really, really light, really delicate. And I think it works really well. I think as a pairing, that is really, really good. But non-chill filtration, that's another term. So we were talking there about natural color. So like independent bottlers are really, really keen for whiskey fans to know like their whiskey's not been messed with. So what non-chill filtered means is that it's not gone through a process. So for example, again, Glenfiddich 12, Balvenie 12, all these kind of supermarket drams, which don't get me wrong, I drink them all the time. I think they're great, but they're whiskey for the masses. And they go through a process called chill filtration. So when you make whiskey, and when you age whiskey, and when you bottle whiskey, there's natural fats in there. So what happens is, what's happened is that across the world, Scotch on the rocks is a really, really popular drink. So if I poured this whiskey over ice, maybe not this one because the strength's high, but a non-chill filtered whiskey over ice, what would happen is it would start to go cloudy. And that's just a chemical reaction of the fats pooling together. So I don't know if you've ever seen like a cold bottle of olive oil, like it goes murky and cloudy. Yeah. So that is just the fats coming together. So as a result of that, what whiskey companies have started to do, since it's a party outside, can you hear that?
Party outside.
Party outside the market bar. But as a result of that, what distilleries do is they basically chill their whiskey down to about 1, 2, 3 degrees, pass it through a fine filter to remove the fatty acids, so that if you pour that whiskey over ice, it won't go cloudy. Yeah. And that's basically called chill filtration. And Glendronach is one of my favorite distilleries. Loved it. And they've just been bought over by Brown-Forman, who own Jack Daniels. And it's so sad. They're cutting the strength to 40% and chill filtering. So people say, does that remove flavor? For me, fat is flavor. Mouthfeel is flavor. If you take a sip of that, like the people are asking the strength, I'm guessing that's because it felt like something was going on. It's the first dram was 40%. So yeah, we have jumped a bit to 48.4, but it's chill filtration cuts a lot of flavor and a lot of mouthfeel. I always say like non-chill filtered whiskies are chewy. Like you can really feel them. So anyway, that's my piece on chill filtration. Sorry, I'm getting into a rabbit hole again.
No, don't worry. Yeah, no, I like that. I thought that was really good. I thought it was really good, and I thought the pairing was good. Like Mark said, actually, it cuts through the whiskey quite nicely. So yeah, that was really nice. I like that.
Thanks.
I think my favorite was actually still maybe that first one. That Cragganmore was great.
Cragganmore is great, and it's like 35-ish pounds a bottle. Yeah, this is about, I think this is about 60-ish a bottle, just because you're paying for smaller production. Yes. But yeah, I'm gonna have another wee bite of my donut, and then we can go on to dram number 3. Do you want to tell us about the donut first? Because I feel like I've been rabbiting on about chill filtration for way too long.
I'll waken everyone back up now, shall I?
Yeah, please do.
So the third one here is sort of a classic. So Perk, for anyone that doesn't know or hasn't visited us, we've been open for about 3.5 years now. And one of the first donuts we made, much thanks to my granny, she's always had us making jam since we were kids. So this is my granny's recipe of mixed berry jam. So we've just super simple, fill it with the jam that we make in house. roll it in sugar, wee raspberry on top, and that's you ready to go. I think jam donuts for me is probably where the love of donuts really started. I feel like we've made hundreds of different flavors of donuts now. We change our menu every month, and we keep some favorites on, but we bring ones back that are always kind of popular and ones that we like. And I just feel like after all the hundreds of donuts that we've made, I think a simple jam donut for me is like just the piece de resistance. It's the best. Can't beat it. That's my piece on a bit of a wee jam donut. So yeah, I thought we might as well. It's Valentine's. It's in the mood of love and jam, and So.
Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
Right, I'm looking forward to this one because it looks intriguing.
Yeah, so this is probably the highlight of the whole tasting. Actually, this is Valentine's Day. We thought we need something we love. A distillery or group that we've been working very kind of close with is the guys at Tom and Towel and Glencadam. And they released this new Glencadam, and then we thought about doing that, and then we thought, actually, do you know what? Let's treat the whiskey and donut people to something very, very special. So here it is. We have a 17-year-old Glencadam.
Very nice.
So this is all about port casks. So this was released in 2015, and we're now on to the 4th edition of this. Again, all natural color, non-chill filtered, and it spends 5 years in port casks, which is a really, really long time. Any more than that, and you're losing any kind of character of the whiskey. But this for me is like one of, if not the leading port cask like whiskey in Scotch. It's just phenomenal. I tried it. I've tried it before. I tried it again. It is absolutely stunning. And it is all about those red jams, sweet fruits, really silky. It's just great. It is really, really good. Lovely color. Again, all natural. And Glencadam is one of those distilleries you just don't hear much of.
Where do you say Glencadam is? Where is this?
How much?
Where is it?
Oh, it's Brechin, I think, is.
Okay.
Let me check my notes, but I'm pretty sure it's Brechin is where the distillery is. It is Brechin. Yep. And it's actually where like sort of Tom and Towel and basically Angus Dundee, who own Tom and Towel and Glencadam, that's where their sort of blending factory is. But a very floral sort of spirit. And yeah, this for me is just like, if you like port cask and sweet whiskey, this is about as good as it gets. And this jam donut. Huh?
What percent is that? It's big.
I think 46, if I remember rightly. Let's have a look.
That feels
46. Yeah.
That feels more mouthy to me than the last one. Like stronger.
The nose for me is just great. It's just, it doesn't smell like. It almost doesn't smell like whiskey. It's just that like soft berry kind of red fruits. It's just lovely.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that.
And that with the jam is going to go so well. I think I'm excited.
Do you know port cask whiskies? I don't know if you'll remember this, but again, for anyone that doesn't know, I used to work with Matt in the whiskey bar before Perk sort of became a thing, and I was very much stuck to Islay whiskey. It's what I knew. It's what I liked, and I hadn't really tried much Speyside and Highland stuff at all. So, it was port cask whiskies that kind of got me into trying things that were lighter and not so peaty and smoky. This is good. I'm going to go for it with a donut now.
So Ali Christie saying, wow, Glencadam is special. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a phenomenal dram. Retail price for Glencadam, it is a special dram. I think you're about 110 a bottle. So it's not a cheap dram. Special treat. It is, it's 5 years in port.
Yeah.
It's lovely. And with the jam, I think this is going to be my favorite. I love smoke, but I think this is going to be my favorite. I didn't bring napkins.
Yeah, I like that. That's amazing.
What's everyone's favourite so far? Type some comments and we can see. Thanks for the treat. Plenty of flavour there. Yeah, from yeah. It's Whisky Doughnuts is great because you can start playing around with favorite like flavors and combinations. But like when you truly get like a really good dram, and then also just like a classic donut, for me that is just that's perfect. That's perfect for me. I could sit and if you just give me one donut and one dram, sat down with that.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah,
I like that too. Yeah, that's really good. I like this. It's lovely. I suppose water is another one of those things that's like a conversation point, isn't it? Because there's an argument. Everyone argues about everything in whiskey, and water is one of those things that, you know, can you add it? Shouldn't you? What about ice? You know, how much to add? And it's all, you know, everyone's got different palates. Everyone's got different flavor, not flavor profiles. Everyone's got different taste buds, and how you like to drink your whiskey. It's about enjoying it at the end of the day. But you know, water is definitely your friend. I mean, you can obviously do this more than I can, but yeah, there's no harm in adding water. I mean, it's added for anything that's not a cask strength whiskey. There's water added anyway, you know. So yeah, I think water is definitely your friend. So sometimes if you try something that's too much in your face or feels really strong or hits your throat the wrong way, a little bit of water, just a couple of drops, can really change that.
Yeah, for sure. We always say like think like water as like seasoning for your food. So you can always add some, but you can't take it away, sort of thing. And whiskey's lovely. Like I think actually of all the whiskey and donuts we've done, I actually think that Cragganmore to start has got so much weight to it. The Benrinnes is light and fruity. This is old whiskey and it's been in good cask. You can tell that.
It's a nice contrast actually between the first and third. You know, kind of the stepping stones. You can see the difference. I like it.
Yeah, and I really hummed and hawed about putting Cragganmore second and Benrinnes first, but the alcohol percentage of the Benrinnes at 48, I was like, oh, now we need to put that further down.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Glencadam. Yeah, so check out Glencadam, check out Tom and Towel. Thanks to Ian. So Ian is a good friend of ours he's actually supported Whisky and Donuts with Johnny and Erica from the first time we were down. And throughout Whisky and Donuts, throughout lockdown and everything, they've supported us and they've very kindly helped us with some stock of this as well. So yeah, cheers, Ian. Hope you're watching. A fellow Whisky and Donut friend. And hopefully clearly you guys are clearly enjoying the Glencadam, which is great. So
yeah, we've got Anne Caroline saying first timers. Welcome.
First timers. Hello, Anne. Sorry, we're a bit pished.
When he says we, he means himself, by the way.
Yes. You're allowed to go to the rugby beforehand. Yep. This is a work event. Yes,
a work event. Yes, please remind yourself that, okay?
A work
event. What happens when I can't be in the same room as you? I can't rein you in.
Well, that's it. That's what they said at Downing Street, and then suddenly they appeared, eh? It's a work event.
Let's get political tonight, okay? That's not the aim of the game here.
Yeah.
Boris is not coming into conversation.
Boris is, things you don't argue about, things you don't mention in pubs, politics and politics and religion. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll chat about Glencadam because that was class.
It's really nice.
Man, I'm actually keep some of that just for later on. I was going to just neck that, but that's just the demon inside me. Are
you still working after this, are you, or have you got the night off?
No. Night off. Been working all day, all night. Tirelessly delivering stuff all around the country while you've been in isolation. You know, someone's got to keep the train going. And
so I'm not big into that. I've learned.
I am knackered.
Listen, you would know a full week's work if it sat in your face, okay?
Yes. This Glencadam is delicious.
I think my cheeks are getting red drinking it.
Right. Is there any comments, any questions? Do you know what? Fire some questions our way. That'd be good fun.
Anything to ask him.
From Ronnie, Mark, working all day in the pub sounds like, I can't read my glasses. In the pub sounds like, but the customer side of the bar. Yeah, you're right, Mark. I'm on the right side of the bar tonight. I'm loving it.
Good luck to anyone who's in the bar this evening.
Well, I'm actually pretty calm. If Scotland won tonight, I'm going to Dublin for the last game. So if we'd won tonight, I'd have been on a different level. I was a bit somber this afternoon.
Oh God.
This is me somber, so yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, has anybody mixed and matched their whiskies and their donuts yet? Has anyone tried something else and to see what works and what doesn't work? I think I'm going to try that Glencairn with the custard. Actually, it might be quite nice.
Yeah. That's me clattering my glass off my drink. Sorry. Can't even hide that because there's a massive microphone right beside it. No, it wasn't me. 100% was me. So that first one with the cream is lovely.
It's custard, Matt, not cream.
Custard cream.
Oh my God.
This really works because I feel like I know nothing about. You know a lot about whiskey, but to be fair, I know absolutely nothing about donuts. So I'm probably asking the questions that people back home are wanting to ask.
That's okay. Don't worry. Oh, donut 1 with number 2 worked well. Nice.
Right, let's give it a go.
Ali said he needs bigger drams to mix and match.
Number 2.
I like number 3 and 1 as well. That was good with the custard. Custard, Matt.
Yep. Those two, the first 2 drams, like super light. The lemon and the custard are just any light style dram, and those 2 flavors like just works really, really well.
Yeah. And
then I think 3 is the perfect bridge, and then 4 and 5 is going to be like big time flavors.
Yeah, it's going to get bigger and bigger. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that.
Should we try number? Have you got a glass of water? Oh, God,
yeah.
You're making me feel bad. I'll just have
I've got a water and a beer here, actually.
I know. This is the thing. I arrived so late. The last game rugby. Didn't even get myself a beer poured.
Well, you shouldn't have been so late, should you? I was sitting here ready and waiting for you.
I know. Christ. Anyway, right. Where are we? Number 4.
Go on.
Now, this
donut's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, this whiskey, I think, is going to really, really split the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I tried it, and last year, someone came in with it, and it was... I hated it the first time I tried it. I hated it. But it is so intense in terms of flavor. So, is it here?
You just say you hated it when you first tried it?
Yep, hated it. Yeah. So,
okay.
It's called Rock Island. And this is by Douglas Lamb. So, basically, started in 1948, ex-RAF pilot, started a bottler in Glasgow. And Rock Island is like a traditional blend by these guys. So they do like lots of stuff. So they do one called Big Pete, which you might have heard of before, which is all Isla stuff. They do this one called Rock Island, which is all whiskey from the island. So the whiskeys that are in this are, let me just confirm. So we have Arran, Jura, and Orkney. So we can't tell you which Orkney whiskey it is, but I can tell you that Scapa do not ever sell to independent bottlers, so it gives you a clue that it might be Highland Park. That was not from me.
Was that your best Highlands accent? No,
Highland Park, and no one's recording this video. So it's Highland Park, Jura, and Arran is basically what is in here, and it's been blended together and finished in sherry cask. But the one thing with this whiskey that I find, when you taste it, it's fucking salty.
Salty?
Oh, like eye-wateringly dry, right?
Because I'm laughing.
It's like fucking swallowing an oyster.
Hang on. Let me have my own. Listen, you're swaying the room here. You've got to be down the middle, okay? Oh, you like oysters?
I do like oysters, but they are drying.
Mm.
And like that salty, smoky, maritime, beachy.
It is salty.
It's salty, isn't it?
Smoother than an oyster.
Yeah.
Well, the donut for this one, this might actually balance out really nicely. So the donut in this, we've got basically white chocolate ganache, like a vanilla sort of essence, white chocolate ganache. So we kind of measure out to be like the same parts chocolate to cream, melt it all together, put it in the fridge, let it set, and then we whip it with some vanilla. So the inside almost tastes like a Milky Bar. Would taste like a white chocolate Milky Bar. And then you've got a sort of chocolate crumble on the top. So that sort of smoothness in that white chocolate and the sweetness should balance the salt that's coming through on that whiskey. Ching ching.
I still don't know if I like that whiskey. It's so... It's like, I don't know.
Adding water to it.
It almost makes me thirsty. Like, it's so... Like, the flavour is amazing. I think for this sort of thing, it's perfect, but it's so intense. Like...
I don't mind that.
Yeah? You like smoke, you like peat, you like maritime. Please tell us what you think of this, because like for me, this is like a really interesting dram. Like if you like Isla stuff, you're gonna love it. But if you,
I like this. I do. I definitely get the saltiness, and I understand what you mean by the drying, but
yeah,
I think it literally has you coming back for more. It's like it's not enough. You want more, and that's almost like I know you're like it's thirsty, but makes you drink.
People are loving it. So Ronnie says a bit salty and slightly smoky, but not too bad. Rob says number 4 is awesome, and with a donut, pretty damn close to heaven. So I think we've done well with the pairing there.
Yeah. No, I like that. I really like that.
The Milky Bar and the smoke and the salty.
It wakens up all of the like taste buds right in your mouth,
Very nice dram. A lovely donut too. Great.
Oh my God. What do you think of the donut?
Lovely. Mm-hmm. Love that Milky Bar is a great call. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Really tasty.
I like that dram. I disagree with you. I like it.
I don't dislike it. I was just nervous about it. I think it's quite a...
Got a big mouthfeel.
It's quite a punch. Yeah. Yeah. But that's what this is about, isn't it? It's about challenging flavors, I guess, isn't it? And perfect dram for this.
And like how different is number 1 to number 4 now? You know what I mean? It just shows you like whiskey's so different. And it makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, I just don't like whiskey." And I'm like, there's so much to try. It's like you can't compare one to the other,
100%. And it's, what are we? Yeah, 46.8 as well. So interestingly, actually, no kind of sponsorship details, nothing. No, there's nothing we say is it was completely random and how we chose these and what we thought, but actually these two are actually the same company. So Rock Island is part of their what you call regional malt series. So you have like Rock Island, Peat Monster. Old Particular is kind of like the one up from that, which is where they like specifically bottle distilleries, and then you have what's called their like XOP range, which is their like single cask, fancy Port Ellen, Clynelish and stuff. So all Douglas Lang, all indie bottles. So yeah, I think tonight, like when I looked at the lineup, I was like, there's some really funky, interesting stuff there, and there's nothing on that lineup tonight. Nothing that I think. Hopefully you guys have tried before, maybe 1 or 2, but hopefully this is all new whiskey, and hopefully you're enjoying it. I think you are by the looks of the comments, so yeah, good.
Yeah, for sure, totally. No, I'm loving it. It's really good. It's really nice. I think that pairing was really good, but I also think number 4 donut would go with number 1 and 2 as well, just with that kind of creamy texture. I think it would go.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'm going to do it right now. I think I've got some Cragganmore left. I've been saving the Cragganmore. It's a total dark horse. Like 35, 40 pound a bottle. Cragganmore 12.
I don't know if I've actually come in and bought a dram at Cragganmore.
No one does, because they don't have a range. They don't have a 12, a 15, an 18, and 21. They have Cragganmore 12, Distiller's Edition, which is just basically sherried Cragganmore, whereas actually the weighty spirit in ex-bourbon works way better, and it's great. Right, that's fine. Ronnie says, been a long day, Matt. Struggling to get the words out. Yes, Ronnie, it's been a very long day. We lost the game even longer. You're absolutely spot on, Ronnie. I am struggling by this point. But
oh, my God. Lord help me.
I know. I know.
Oh, well. All part of the fun. Mon Scots.
So Hamish says, Rock Island regularly on discount across the road at the Cloak and Church Street. Yes, Hamish. So it is. So that Rock Island is, so that's like their base one, which is brilliant. And we actually use that in a margarita, which is delicious. But this one that you're drinking tonight is sort of like the one up from that. So this is their like sherry finished one, which I don't think you get in the co-op, but their normal one is great. If you like margaritas, swap that out for tequila. Makes like a smoky margarita, and it is delicious.
I need to try that in isolation.
I know. How long are you in isolation for? What's the rules now? I've lost total track of it.
I'm not sure. I think after 5 days, if I can get a couple of negative lateral flows, then I'm good to go.
Good to go, yeah.
I'll get 2 days in a row of negative lateral flows or something, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But hey-ho.
Right, are we going to go to dram number 5?
I think so. Again, this one's super light. This is like almost see-through.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. So this was actually supposed to be Valentine's Day themed, and I've forgotten all about that. The Valentine's Day theme was Glencadam, the port cast, the love, the red, the love hearts, and the donuts. But to be honest, my love is peat. I love peated whiskey.
Yeah.
So the last whiskey is always peated, and this is peated beyond belief. So what do we got?
Oh, yes.
Yep. You got one behind you?
Yeah, but I don't know if I've got that one.
So this is the latest Compass Box Peat Monster, and that is the monster there.
The Peat Monster. I remember that.
Monster. So Compass Box, for those who have never heard of them, were set up. They're not a distillery. They're an independent bottler as well. They were set up in the year 2000 by a guy called John Glaser. He used to work for Johnny Walker as head of marketing, and he just got this feeling that actually, why is blended whiskey viewed as inferior to single malt? You know, every single person, every international tourist who is not that big a whiskey fan says, I want to drink single malt. Mm-hmm. Blends are inferior. And that's because they've been exposed to everyday blends. Mm-hmm. But John was like, actually, do you know what? Like, some of the best red wine in the world is blended. You know, why are we viewing blends as a bad thing? As a bad thing, yeah. Why? So he set up on his own in 2000. He secured a lot of casks from Diageo. I think they kind of took him as a bit of a, on you go. You can do your own thing. And he really rocked the boat. So he released whiskey. He put like staves into whiskey casks to like basically try and mature it quicker. Got called up by the SWA, started changing cask ends, started challenging the rule that, you know, if it says 10 years old in the bottle of whiskey, that means that the youngest liquid in that bottle is 10 years old. And he thinks that's a crazy rule. I disagree with him there. I think that's a great rule because it protects the consumer, but he released a 3-year-old whiskey and had 0.1% 3-year-old, and the rest of it was like 40 and 50-year-old whiskey. He's like, so this is a 3-year-old whiskey, right? Well, yeah, legally you have to call it that. And he's like, how stupid is that? I'm like, well, and that's his point, but I disagree with that one, but I like what he's doing. But anyway, his whole point about blending is that he wants transparency in blending. So he will tell you everything that goes into this bottle. Whereas if you buy a bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, you're paying £150. They say there's Port Ellen, there's Brora, there's this. How much Port Ellen? How much Brora? Oh, it's a secret recipe? All right, okay. Is it? Famous Grouse, White Mackay. Yeah, we know it's grain, some malt. We know the distilleries, but what is it? No one knows. So his whole concept was to, basically tell you what was in the bottle.
Yeah.
And he's fought this for years. And the first time he brought out a compass box, no name. You're legally not allowed to put in the back of a bottle of whiskey what's in it.
Yeah.
And that is mad, right? That's mad. It's mad. Yeah. It's totally mad. That's now changed because he used to just take the total piss and he said, like, well, it comes from a little port on the south of Islay that has a whiskey wall that has letters A and ends in G. It's not Ardbeg, but I can't say it's Ardbeg, but it may be Ardbeg. You can always tell people without telling people. So that's now changed. But long story short, this is basically peated whiskey called Peat Monster. It's made up of 4 different types of Coulia. It's made up of Lafroig and has a tiny bit of Highland malt in it. And it's basically a blend of all those things together. And I think it's great. I think it's what blending should be. I think it's what whiskey should be. I think it's really open and transparent, and it's all about peat. If you like peat, this is what it's about.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, I just think it's great.
I think I tried this once ages and ages ago in the bar, and it's not since then I've tried this, but it's so good. Yep,
it's balanced, it's smoky, it's light, it's fresh.
And to go with that, we've gone with a coffee cream filled donut. So we've done ganaches and things before quite often, so I thought we'd stick with a bit of cream this time. So just like a sort of standard using our coffee from Perk, mixed it in through the cream, and then we've topped it with like an amaretti biscuit. So there's sort of the amaretto flavors and that almond kind of nutty flavors coming through. So it should be a mix of sort of coffee and nut, if you can imagine those things. So it should be quite a nice combo with this. But this whiskey is really peated, so I'm not sure how it's going to cut through, but we'll see.
How much is that a bottle? Fantastic. Wow. I think it's about 70 a bottle, maybe.
Nicole, can you buy me a bottle of Glencairn for my next birthday, please? And I will get you one. No bother.
The most expensive dram on the menu.
No expensive taste.
So what's everyone's favourite combination? What was your favourite?
I don't know. I'm still making my way through that last one. I like that. The coffee and that fifth one is my favourite whiskey. Like out of all of those, like hands down is probably my favourite. I don't know. I think the pairing on 3 or 5 were my favourites, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think that's in my 2 faves. What about you?
I really like number 1. I really like the Cragganmore.
Yeah, and it's definitely an underdog on this. Like,
yeah, with the donut as well, the cream-filled donut and the Cragganmore.
Did you say it was cream again?
What was it? It was cream. Custard. This is why you do donuts and I do whiskey. Yeah.
Honestly, if you should call that a cream one more time, I swear.
So Rob's saying combo 4, perfect. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I think overall all the pairings were actually pretty spot on.
Glencairn and Granny's Jam. Yeah, I actually thought Glencairn and the Granny's Jam was going to be like the overall showstopper.
Yeah.
Pairing 3, but Dram 5 wins it for me, Mark. Yeah, I think No name, not no name. Sorry, Pete Monster it's a great dram. It's just a really well balanced dram. Number 2. Don't know if number 3 was good tonight. One of the best tastings that's been done.
Thank you very much, Ronnie.
Very good. My mum says number 2 brilliant. My new dram, Dad.
Mom's asking, is that an old HP 12 over Nicole's shoulder?
Highland Park 12, maybe, isn't it?
No, it's not an old one. It's a regular one. This one, is that? Oh, wait, which one are you looking at? This one. Oh, I've just given away my secrets. No, this one, it's just an old one. It's a 12-year-old. I think it's a standard. Yeah.
I wouldn't have opened that. That's worth a fortune now.
Oh, stop it.
Great.
Number 3 pairing was my favorite, Granny's Jam. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Granny's Jam's always a winner. I think it's definitely close to the heart, which is great for Valentine's, you know. And
that's it. Yeah, well done. Well done. Getting the theme back in there. Well done.
This is why they pay me the big bucks, you know.
That's it. That's it. Look at that. No, I was just looking at the time. It's like 1958. So I don't know. I don't think we have much of a closing to do, but I don't know. Normally we have like another one kind of lined up on what we're thinking about doing, but what's the next big event in the calendar? Or
probably
you know what the one? What was the one we did? The Star Wars one, and that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars one was good, but that's not till May. I don't think.
No, I know, but that was suggested by someone. So if anyone's got a suggestion of like a theme or anything, like let us know, because like we're both kind of back to full capacity working wise, but more like both love doing this and want to keep doing it. And to be honest, just needs an excuse to do it. Yeah. So if you can find us an excuse, we'll do it.
There's a couple of good ones there. Easter or April
Fools. Yeah. Mother's Day. Scotland and the Six Nations. But you won't be here. You're right. I will be in Dublin when we're there.
Classic. I'll do it without you.
Only Fools and Horses, you plunker. Great. Okay, so we've got some themes. So Easter, April, Mother's Day.
We'll need to check the diaries and see what we can work in.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do one of those. Yeah.
We should try that for the next one.
If you don't have COVID.
Hopefully by then I'll be alright.
Yeah, you'll be out of the woods.
Yeah, I'll be out of the woods by next weekend, hopefully.
Tell you what, that vanilla cream in number 1 is great.
Oh, stop it. I know you're trying to wind me up now.
Lovely. Oh, great.
Custard! Oh yeah, Ali Christie said May 4th was epic last year.
Nice very Martin. We'll get one before that.
We're on a between time, yeah, but we're definitely on the May 4th and it was good crack.
All right.
That one was brilliant.
Well, thanks to my dad for helping driving. Thanks to the guys baking, Claudia particularly, who worked her arse off right through the night. Thanks to the guys at Perk as well for organising all the donuts.
As well, Ian and my mum, and auntie, and everyone pitched in. So yeah, it was fantastic. Thank you very much for all the helpers. Thanks to Ian as well, Clincadam, Tom and Towell, who have consistently supported this and came out with an absolute belter of a dram for us this time round, and we're really excited to continue working with Whisky Doughnuts with them. And thanks to you guys for continuing to support Drams Delivered. Oh, God, Whisky Doughnuts. Oh my God. Fly plug. Drams Delivered is also available. Listen to him, honestly. But if anybody hasn't visited either of our stores, we have got Perk Donuts on Church Street, and then we've got some whiskey bar off the lane, but don't worry about that. Some straight whiskey bar up the pissy lane somewhere. Yeah. Right. Well, enjoy your drams, enjoy the weekend, and I think that is probably us. Well, Slange of that. Slange. I'll do like a virtual. I'll just do it. Ding. Cheers.
Right. Cheers, guys. All the best. Good night.
Any questions, just ping them over to Matt or I.
This is the worst part. This is unelegant. Oh, that's played squash.
Just sign off.
My legs are stiff. Oh, it's like pay-per-view if it went wrong.
Oh no. I'm gonna eat these while you're dealing with it.
The 10-minute preview's over. Bye. How awkward if I just keep this on, just to eat donuts for a while, another couple of minutes.
It's still on right now, Matt.
Still on, yeah, still on. Right, good night.
Good night.